So after nearly 5 years of full-time travel, we have literally blown two of our surge protectors. And on a third instance, our surge protector was stopping power from coming inside of our rig, all because of some kind of electrical fault. Hey guys, I'm James with the Boundless Bronikies, and on today's episode of What Do You Think Wednesday, I'm going to be going over surge protectors, why they're important to have, what type you should probably look at getting, what you should do prior to a surge, what you should do after a surge. Some things that people don't normally talk about. So, without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so we're going to start out with why you should buy an RV surge protector. So number one reason is going to be low voltage. Low voltage, especially during summer months when you're at an RV park or a campground and everybody's using their ACs, it's going to kind of put a drain on the electrical grid. But what that does is it puts low voltage into everybody's RVs. And what can happen with low voltage, too low a voltage, is it can damage appliances like your refrigerator, your TV, if you got your computer plugged in. In a lot of cases, low voltage can really do damage to our actual ACs. Number two is going to be miswired power pedestals. And I cannot believe how many times I hear this, but I did mention that we blew up two of our surge protectors one time in Tennessee, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. We got all set up and I went and plugged in our surge protector and I heard a loud pop. We were at the time using a surge protector by a company called Progressive Industries. It was a really good setup, but I heard this loud pop, and at the same time, Kesha screamed on the inside, said she heard a loud pop, and then she smelled smoke coming from one of our outlets. After inspecting the outlet, everything was fine, but when I went and inspected our surge protector, the internal components were completely fried. Thankfully, we had only bought it like 2 months prior, and Progressive Industries ended up sending us out another one. But the problem was when the RV park mechanics or maintenance personnel came over, they took the power pedestal off where the 50 amp plug was at, and on the inside the ground wasn't secured the way it was supposed to be. So when I pushed it in, it hit another piece of metal and completely arc sent all this power into my surge protector and fried it. Number three is going to be actual power surges in your grid. And that could happen for a number of different reasons. Sometimes it's an electricity or a lightning strike way away from it and it sends a surge of power through the electrical grid. Sometimes they shut the power off. We go through these blackouts. Something happens to a power line, a transformer, a bird hits it, kills power, and they get it all fixed. And when they turn the power back on, sometimes that throws a huge power surge through the entire grid, and it will stop that high voltage from coming into your RV and causing a bunch of damage. So here's actually something that was kind of cool that I never even heard about when I was doing all my research 5 years ago to become a full-time RVer or actually being on the road. It took a few years to learn these little tips. But number one is obviously going to be get a good quality surge protector with EMS and EPO, and I'll go over that in just a second. But something super simple is in the event you know you're going to be in high wind scenario, or there's a wildfire anywhere in the vicinity of where your RV park or campground is at, or if you know you're in one of those events, disconnect your vulnerable devices, unplug your TV, unplug your computer, unplug some of the things that, like in the event you had a power surge, that it's not going to do damage to these appliances, because those are the things that cost us the most money. We're already out here struggling with gas prices. The last thing you want to do is have to buy a brand new refrigerator, a TV, or a computer. We have been using, since we started, I said the Progressive Industries was a great one, and then we used the Camco Power Defender for like 3.5 years. It was a little long, I didn't like that. For this video, eTrailer just sent us the brand new Watchdog. I'm really excited to try this one out because this one is an EMS with an EPO. And what the EMS is an emergency management system, because you can buy what they call analyzers, and those just basically plug in and they just analyze. They let you know, like, hey, you have a faulty wiring, you got high voltage, low voltage, but they don't stop the power from going into your rig and causing the damage if there is an electrical issue. Where an EMS, an emergency management system, is continuously monitoring the electrical system. And an EPO is an emergency power off. So basically, if it detects that super high voltage, that super low voltage, the faulty wiring that could send a power surge into your rig, it just shuts off and it doesn't allow the power to go back in there. What's really awesome about the new Watchdog is that you can manage everything from your phone. You can turn it on and turn it off, and it shows you all the different fault codes. One of the cool things I like about it also is that it will monitor your kilowatts. We were in Southern Florida one year when we went to check in, and a guy was arguing with the front desk lady about how much he was being charged for kilowatts. I didn't know how to monitor that other than that they tell you, nope, this is how much you used. Well, what's super awesome about this one is when you go to a new RV park or at the beginning of the month, if you're a long-term stay, you can pull up the Watchdog app on your phone and just hit reset on this simple little button, and it'll reset the entire kilowatts being used. So then you actually know how much power you're using. And that might also be beneficial if you wanted to have a full site hookup on your property. So I want to show you a little bit more about the Watchdog. So this is the newer, I should say. It's been out for just a little bit, brand new to us. Never even plugged it in yet. So this is going to be new for all of us. But I have done a little bit of research on this to tell you guys a little bit more about it. And so this one is 50 amps. It's got my 4 prongs there. Each trailer they have a number of different ones, but they have it in 30 amp, they have it in 50 amp, they got the big boy. There's a bunch of different ones. Just scroll through there, find out whatever fits your needs, and that's the one you're going to want to get. But this Watchdog, the little bulldog here, the pit bull, or whatever that is, when you plug it in, it will light up either white or it'll go red. If it's white, it means everything is good to go. One of the things I really liked about it that they did that I haven't liked about other ones is you have this little extension here, and then it goes into the box, and then other ones have a whole nother extension before it goes into the plug. Well, they took all that off, and it's just all right here. So it's a little bit smaller, doesn't take up as much room when you go to plug it in. So in some cases, you're not down on the ground, which is kind of a bummer. But also what they've done here is they've built this little rain guard door in here, and then inside here is where your 50 amp plug actually plugs into. So then once you're plugged in, you can shut this rain guard. It's got a little lock here if you want to lock this shut so nobody can unplug your stuff. Also, it's got the lock up here if you find yourself in a position where you just really want to secure your power pedestal. We have actually been in a couple of places on the East Coast where the people at the front desk said, hey, lock up anything that you don't want to go missing. So anyways, there's where that's at. So when you go to plug in your power, right, make sure that your breakers are off. And then you're going to plug in your surge protector and then turn it on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 4 seconds, just like they say. And you heard that click, power's going through there. And now my bully dog here is white. So if that was red, and it would give me a fault code down in here, right? So now that I know that my system and my power pedestal are safe, come back, you turn this off, grab your 50 amp cable. I'll be interested to see if this shuts. So I'm going to plug this in. Oh, it does. Nice. Shut that. And then I'm going to turn my power back on. But before I do that, I wanted to show you. No, this one does not have it. Oh, it does right here on the side. Here's all of your error codes. So it gives you 9 different error codes and 2 different fault codes, line 1 frequency error, and that will be presented here or also on the app. I'm gonna plug that in, turn on my power, 4 seconds, I'm good to go. What's really nice about this too is with the app, you can turn on and off your power. Also, it's got a little dimmer. I have noticed that when I'm walking through the RV park, I can see this bully dog on certain people's rig setups. And sometimes I'm like, oh man, that's catching my attention. I really like that. But on the app, you can also dim that all the way down. All right. So now that that's going really well, What should you do in the event or after an actual surge? So, number one thing you're going to want to do is unplug, if especially if you're in still like a storm. You're going to want to unplug, if you haven't already, any of those vulnerable devices that we talked about earlier, just in case there's a secondary power surge. We've been a number of times this summer, multiple power outages due to wildland fires. They come on, they go off, they come on. So maybe disconnecting some of those vulnerable, that's a tough word, vulnerable devices until you know that whatever's causing those is over. So second, you're going to want to go reset any of your breakers. Maybe it's the breaker here, maybe it's the breakers inside of your rig, but you're going to want to reset all of those and then come out and inspect your surge protector. Make sure that you, in this case with Watchdog, that you got the white face, that you don't have any error or fault codes, and that nothing actually burned up, because that could actually happen. Ooh, that's super important to say about the Watchdog, that none of the other ones I have seen do. In the event this actually does get fried, the the uh, the brain of it on the inside, I forget what that's called. I'll put it right here. But the brain of it, you can just replace. You can unscrew the module, and insert a brand new module, which is way cheaper than having to buy an entire surge protector again. So that's actually pretty cool. So inspect your surge protector, make sure it's in good condition. And then if the storm or whatever is actually over and you're back to normal power, plug in all of your devices one at a time. And again, double inspect your RV air conditioners. Just make sure that everything is flowing smoothly. That if you have um, the smart starts, is that what they're called? Smart starts, soft starts. The soft starts. But just make sure everything is operational. You don't have any weird electrical smells or anything like that. And maybe check all of your appliances, your fridge and whatnot, just in case. Those are some of the important things. So what do you guys think? That's what we have for the surge protector on What Do You Think Wednesdays. Let me know in the comments below. Do you actually have one of these? Have you guys ever been in an emergency where this has actually saved your rig from a lot of damage? Do you wish you had one of these prior to getting a lot of damage? Let me know. And everything you saw here today will definitely be in the captions below. Leave us a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Turn on those notifications so you can catch our videos every Wednesday and Sundays. We got some good stuff to show you guys. So thanks for watching. Really appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next one.